This is Ron Ball, and I want to welcome you again to Choose Greatness, your key to a happier life. I am very excited because we are hearing from so many of you, and the response is wonderful. I am thrilled that you enjoy the program, that you are learning great principles that can make an immediate impact in your life today. I know that you are teaching many of these lessons to your children, that you want them to learn greatness as well. Last week, I had as my guest my very good friend, Tony Morales, a very successful businessman who is also committed to Jesus Christ as his Savior. Tony gave us some great information last week, and if you tuned in last week, you'll recall that he spoke briefly about what it means to build success from a personal standpoint, that you don't want to be lazy or negative or critical of other people, that you will never go forward in life if you're always blaming someone else, that you will never succeed if it's all about you, and you'll never get to a forward position and bring your goals into reality if you're always being negative and critical and always trying to break things down. So, Tony, you brought that perspective last week, did a great job, and you reminded all of us that that we personally, all the people listening, that they are the prime ingredient they have to work with themselves.
Exactly.
And your character really matters. And if you feel entitled that you should be given everything, and you're lazy and you're frustrated and angry if you don't get everything easily, then you're probably not on a good track for success. So, Tony, I mentioned also last week that you know how to make money because you've made money. Now, you've had your failures, you've had your disappointments, you've had your reversals, but you've kept going. You've never given up, and you've persisted in developing a business. So I want to start this program by asking you a question. If you were speaking to someone who didn't have a business, maybe had a job and still struggling financially, but you wanted to motivate them to have a dream, motivate them to have a higher purpose in life, to have more freedom for themselves and their family, how would you start? How would you motivate them to build a business?
Well, first of all, I would say you need to have something to pursue. You need something to focus on, to build, because unfortunately, our educational system, which is great, teaches us how to go out and get a job for 30 years, which is not bad, but some of us would prefer to be entrepreneurs. Now, I have read in many of the books that I have read that success cannot be focused on myself. So one of the greatest things I learned in this industry is that in order for me to have success, I needed to help others have success first. Taking the focus off from me, I did that for some time. We started earning a large income that I did not respect again, and I basically threw away. I started buying things that I didn't need because it's just stuff. I didn't invest then, and I wasn't smart. And
so you wasted a lot of money.
I wasted, I don't want to say the amount, but it's more than I would like to admit. and my wife, always the business-wise person in the house, she was always trying to make me understand how to do it. And I got mad at her, and I fought with her, and then I didn't pay attention. And then God took care of me. He taught me that I was not the one who had the reason on many of the topics, including that one. So God took away everything that I had, money-wise speaking, and we lost a house, we lost another house.
Stop right there. Did you hear what Tony said? He lost his home.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he has gone through what some of you go through. This is not a man who's had an unbroken string of awesome successes. You've had some real disappointments that could have brought you down, but you learned from them.
Oh, yes. Not only did I learn from it, I learned to be grateful of what we have. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a job, you have to be grateful. If you woke up today, you have to be grateful, because A lot of people didn't wake up today. And you have to be grateful that God gave you another day for an opportunity to come up and grab you and for you to take advantage of it. But after all those failures, I also lost my family's respect because I did not do what I needed to do, which was be the, there's a word in English, I'm trying to think, mayordomo, what's the word? Help me out. And there's a word, I know the word in English, I just forgot.
Steward, of being a good
steward, a good steward of our money, of our finances. I paid all my debts, but then I got into newer debts, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Well, you just reminded me of something.
Ridiculous.
Do you know the difference, you listening, the difference between having money and having wealth?
Oh, yeah.
The difference is you can have $100,000 a year from your job, but if you spend $100,000 a year, you don't have wealth. You just have temporary cash flow.
Exactly.
Wealth means that you invest and you save and you put money away. And the man who mentored all of us, you'll recognize this when I say this, he taught all of us, this financial giant that we've learned so much from, he taught us to start with living beneath our income.
Exactly.
He said, even if you're making $100 a week, live beneath that. Don't live beyond your income. Don't become accustomed to living on credit, because that's a trap. Am I right?
It is a trap. It's money that doesn't exist, and they make you think it's yours. It comes from nowhere, but they remind you if you don't pay back. Yeah,
so you've been through that too.
Oh yeah.
Well, now let me ask you a very important question. You're a Christian. You love Jesus. You believe the Bible.
Oh yes.
Got a wonderful Christian wife. I know her. Let me ask you a very important question. If you were to simplify how to make money for a Christian, a young man, a young woman who was standing in front of you right now and said, what should I know or believe? What principle should I follow if I want to make more money in life? If I want to be more financially free, what would be the simple, basic principles you would tell them to focus on?
First of all, never do it for the money. Never do it for the money.
Be a servant.
Be a servant. Do it for your family. Provide for your family. Even if it's a job, it doesn't matter. Jobs are great. I mean, there's cars at some point in some areas, but that's a benefit disguised as an opportunity disguised, because when people lose a job, they think everything is lost. And no, God is probably telling you, hey, I would rather have you as a businessman impacting people positively. So maybe this job isn't for you, but some of us are not understanding that. And I remember very vividly that I started building my business, started traveling, but didn't save any money, thinking that the money tree was going to be there forever. It's not, people, it's not. Don't fall into the trap. Don't do it, never do it for the money. I remember a friend of mine said, listen to this, just in case you fall for this trap. I have a friend of mine, he's a big executive now, and because he learned from it and straightened his path. But before that, he was like I was, disrespecting money and everything. So he once told me, I said, hey, how's it going? He said, Wilfred, you wouldn't know it. They gave me $500 raise. I'm trying to think, where do I spend it on?
I mean, that was his first response to $500 more dollars. How do I spend it?
Yeah, it's first of all, pay off your debts. Pay all your debts. You don't want to have debt stress. Stress can kill you, literally. Believe it or not.
Say that again, Tony.
Stress can and will kill you. If you're not careful, it will get the best of you. I have seen it once and again. Please make sure you ask God for guidance. That's what we did. In our second turnaround, which is now, we're rebuilding everything we built and re-strengthening everything we built. Because
now, what principles are you following to rebuild? Obviously doing it for the right reason. That's critical.
Doing it for the right reason.
Not being selfish.
Not being selfish. and knowing that people come first,
That
not
people
me.
come first.
People come first. God come first. Then people come first, and then you have to have a reason to have a business. You don't just open a store to sell stuff. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a purpose behind. If you have a let's say a restaurant, must be a restaurant with the purpose of feeding people the healthy way. Let's say it as an example. If you have an airline, be the best airline. If you have a bank, be the best bank. If you have a retail store, take care of people, take care of your clients, your customer, your business associates. I didn't, and I lost a lot of them. I lost people who could have become extremely successful, even higher than anyone I have met before, but I was guilty of basically detouring them from what we were doing because of my attitude, because of my neglecting, because of my not knowing what I was doing. Please study, educate yourself, learn from the Lord, learn about the Word, learn about the Proverbs. This is the guide. If you read the Proverbs, it's the guide for everything, including businesses. But we don't read it because we think it's just another book of the Bible. The other day I was talking to someone, and someone else was saying, I just don't know why these crazy people have success and they're not even Christians. And the other guy says, well, just go to Psalm 73. I'm like, what? What is that? I didn't even know what it said because I'm not totally familiar with all the books. So I went and read it, and it does say that if you build anything for the wrong reasons, it will not last. Hear me again, it will not last. So please, 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 if you want to be really successful, build it for the right reasons. Don't build it for the money. The money is the least of the importance. Don't try to be famous either. Being famous is not what it's about. Not to be known, famous, in magazines and stuff. No. Be of impact. Even if your face is not anywhere, you don't need recognition. Recognition comes because of the results of the impact you have on people you touch, because of what you're doing, not because of money. Please, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to this, if you are in a predicament right now, pray for it. Pray for guidance. Pray for instruction from God. Don't try to do it on your own. I tried it. Many people that I know have tried it, and it's not the same. It's not the same. When you bring God into your life, you bring God into your business, it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, what you're saying, Tony, about right motivation, I think it's very important for everybody to remember the value. What you're doing is you are becoming valuable yourself. Yes. You're making more of an impact. One theme of the shows we've done recently, and that includes the ones with you, is that it's not about you. It's about service. It's about giving. Let's say, for example, that, and now you're an entrepreneur, Tony, and you've built entrepreneurial businesses and been very successful with that, and God's blessed you.
Thank you.
But God's blessed you more when you've done it for the right reason.
Oh,
Am
yeah.
I right?
Oh, yes.
But let's say for a moment that you're someone who has a conventional job. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Let's say that's the route you've decided to go. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think you're going to do better in your job and make more money because you're absent a lot, because you miss a lot of work days, because you play games on your phone, because you watch different, you go to do your Facebook while your boss is not around? You see, the reason you're not being promoted, the reason you're not doing better in life is because you're not creating value. You're being selfish. And if you're not creating value, if you're not creating more good, if you're not creating more impact, why should you be rewarded? Why should you make more money? I met a young woman once who was very angry. My goodness, she was so mad because she worked at a McDonald's restaurant and she didn't think she was being paid enough. But she had no skills, Tony. She had no marketable skills. She was angry because she was making minimum wage. That's all she was worth. She was 16 years old and she wanted more money, but she didn't bring more value. So you have to improve yourself.
Oh, yes.
You have to be better. You have to go the extra mile. You have to do something beyond what other people do if you want to be rewarded. It's like Jesus when he talks about the talents. If you bury your talent and complain that you're not getting ahead, then obviously you will not succeed. And that really fits what you're saying. And that's very important that all of you realize this. When Tony says to do this for the right reason, if you are more valuable and you make more of an impact, then you put yourself in a position for more blessing. It's not about your selfishness. It's about you doing good for God's kingdom and for the people God loves. Now, Tony said something, and I hope you picked up on this. He said, why do secular people succeed? Well, it's because they're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah.
If an airline's attitude is, we want to give you the best flight experience possible, and they do everything extra to bless you, they may not even be Christians, but that will work.
Because
that will work because they're creating value for you. They're doing more for you. Now, we all know business people, I'm calling them that, they're people in business who cheat and cut corners and don't give you value. But the Bible condemns that. Remember the statement in Leviticus in the Old Testament where God said, I honor those who do right weights and measurements. In other words, who don't cheat. Who don't cheat. So God will never bless you if you're cutting corners. And that's true if you're working a job and you're not giving that job your full time. Or if you're not giving that boss your full value. They're paying you for something. And if you do more, then that puts you in a position to be better rewarded. Am I right?
Always be the best.
So it's all about the kind of person you are.
Yep. Always be the best at what you're doing. Always. It doesn't matter if it takes you more time, if it takes you more effort. It doesn't matter. Be the best at what you do, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Business, a job, a skill. It doesn't matter. If you put your whole effort in it for the right reasons and become the best or one of the best, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. We will all be rewarded.
So you see the people you work with in your businesses and your entrepreneurial opportunities, you see those people as people you serve.
Yes, I have to help them become successful before the company benefits us at all. I mean, most of the time we are using our time investing in helping them become successful, because our business works in a way that the more successful people the more people we get to be successful, the more rewarded we are by the company's principles. They have a business model that compensates entrepreneurs because they help others become entrepreneurs. Because I heard the other day a friend of mine say at a conference, he said, Florida, the U.S. and the world needs more entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs create jobs. And people are complaining there are no jobs, but then they don't want to become entrepreneurs either. And then it's a vicious cycle, because they don't want to become entrepreneur, but they want someone to do it so they can get a job. The way to get ahead is to do something, period. Something. Maybe you start doing something and that becomes a job that wasn't existing.
But you do your best with that something.
All the time.
Now, you, being from a Hispanic culture, Puerto Rico, say something to the Hispanic Latino community about success. What would you say to people in that community?
Thank you. My fellow Hispanics, I'm going to say this. We are great people. Our community is one of the greatest in the world. We have no fear of working. We don't fear any hard work, any type of work. We just work because that's how our nature. We were brought up that way. We are in this country as visitors, us Puerto Ricans. We have it easy because we are born U.S. citizens, and that's easy. But my hat goes off to every single Hispanic community that comes to the U.S. to become successful, because it's hard, but it's worth it. It is worth it. Anything is worth. I mean, if you ask a lady about the 9 months she's been pregnant, she would tell you. But once the baby is in her arms, she doesn't remember the 9 months. It's not, you have
Good analogy.
to enjoy what you do and visualize that you can become successful. Don't how you say this, don't allow yourself to feel short, to feel less. We are great people, and so are the U.S. citizens that were born here. They're all great people. Every race is composed of great people. We'll just need to educate ourselves, put more effort in what we do, and become successful at whatever we do. So please, to my fellow Hispanic friends, don't settle for less than success. Just go ahead, go out for it, just go for it. Pursue success. You can achieve it. It's not for certain amount of people, a certain class of people. It's not for the rich only. It's not for the this, that, and the other. It's for everyone who wants to achieve success. Every one of us can achieve success. I have seen people, successful people from all walks of life, and I respect them all because they deserve respect. Business owners move the economy. Business owners create jobs. Businesses move the economy. We need to become entrepreneurs in order to affect positively the economy of the country we live in. But Tony, I don't know English. My man, my fellow Hispanic, with all due respect, I mean, I am blessed to know English, and my mom was born in the U.S., but my father was born in Puerto Rico. I learned English at school and at home and on my own, watching TV in English, because I didn't want to not know English. That was my point. If you live in Russia, you need to learn how to speak Russian. If you live in France, you need how to speak French. If you live in Puerto Rico and you were not born there and you don't know Spanish, you need to learn to speak Spanish. In other words, learn to speak the language of the country you live in. That's a basic skill you need to conquer right away. Forget your fears. Fear is false, evident, appearing real. It's not real. I mean, to my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong, we're born with two fears: the fear of darkness and the fear of falling, I think. All the other fears, I believe, are learned. They are taught to us. But if you conquer your fears and you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything you think or dream of. Trust me, it's like that. Trust me.
Well, I applaud that, Tony. Now, didn't you feel the motivation from that? I love something Tony said a few minutes ago. And Tony, that was great. God bless you. That was great. Tony said something also that he spends his time helping other people succeed.
Yes.
It's not about you, it's about helping them. You invest in people.
Oh, yes.
So I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Make people around you better. People are promoted. People are promoted because they bring value. People are promoted because they contribute. People are promoted because they improve the business or improve the people in the business. And entrepreneurs, as Tony referenced, are the heroes of modern business, the job creators, the job generators. Now, Tony, people are probably wondering how you've made your money. And we're not promoting any particular business or approach. People have an opportunity to do whatever they choose to do.
Exactly.
Tony, and I know this because I've known Tony a long time and I've spoken at a lot of meetings and rallies that he's been a part of, but Tony's made his money in the Amway business.
Right.
You're an Amway Diamond, is that right?
Yes.
Which is a high level and has done very well. And I know a lot of the leaders in the Amway organization. Many of them are Christians. And by the way, this is not telling you you should do Amway. This is not why we're doing this program. But I just want people to know who you are and to know what you've accomplished and what you've done. And that's been your means. That's been your model. That's been your way. Somebody may have another way.
Yes.
That's their choice. That's their decision.
It is.
But you've been very comfortable with your approach and your model, and it's not a hard sell. I've been around Tony and his organization for a number of years. They don't push it. They don't hard sell it. They're not used car salesmen. They don't pressure you to do anything. The thing I love about Tony's approach to this particular kind of e-commerce business, the reason I like it so much is because they are focused on helping people grow.
Yes.
And that's why they bring me in to speak, because I come in and speak on biblical principles to make you a better person.
Exactly.
I don't come in and tell you how to do your business, do I? I don't come in and speak on Amway. I come and speak on God's principles to make people better.
Exactly.
And that's why we have a good relationship,
Oh, yes.
because the focus is on helping other people. So whether you do that kind of business or a conventional job or any other kind of business, the focus is on being a blessing to other people.
Exactly.
Being a blessing to other people. Now, we're almost out of time, Tony. Anything else you want to say, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
Well, I want to say to everyone listening that I have been blessed to know Ron Ball for a number of years. I know his wife, Amy, his kids. Their kids, I'm sorry. And being around him is enriching. You learn, you try to continue mending mistakes that you know you still have in your mind, wrapped around your brain somewhere, and you go like, I still have.
You're still learning.
Yeah,
You're still learning.
I have to continue.
Well, Tony, I don't want to
educating
detour you.
myself.
We're almost done, so I got to wrap this up. But thank you for that. That was
you.
great. God bless
Thank
you. But
you.
I want to say to all of you listening, I have collected, and I mentioned the Money Clinic to you in the past, I have collected information for over 20 years from entrepreneurs like Tony, entrepreneurs like my friend Dan Cathy of Chick-fil-A, entrepreneurs in different industries, and I've collected all of them in the Money Clinic. It is a very practical way to make and manage money. It really works. So go to choosegreatness.com right now and order the Money Clinic. And I'll see you on the next show. God bless all of you. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.